Hi guys, Trainer Dan, and I've popped this in just to demonstrate that this is an overgrip technique, and the image on the left shows where the hands should be placed on the setup, and then the image on the right shows how your hands should be positioned once you're dropped in on the bench.
Hi guys, I'm Trainer Dan, and today we're going to be looking at a French press, or otherwise known as a skull crusher, hitting in on the triceps, and it is a very good exercise. I'm going to be using an easy bar to function this. You could function it with either an easy bar or a straight bar, or even a cable. I've put this on as a free weight technique, so you will be using free weights. So we'll just get started into position and go through some nitty gritty on what to do and what not to do. The main thing is don't hit your head. Really don't hit your head. Okay, so dropping back on the bench, we've got a close grip that you want to function, and this is kind of, I like working this with the easy bar because we've got a nice little angle there, and it's nice and easy and free on the wrist. It's a little bit freer than if you were using a straight bar, but you can still use a straight bar. It's still just as effective. Okay, so positioning wise, we've got a couple of ranges that we can kind of hit. One is more difficult and one is easy. Okay, and so the first one is literally from there, bringing it down to the forehead and then extending upwards. The second one is taking it down a little bit further. Okay, so now I'm right up at the top of my head and then extending upwards. That is the harder one because we're getting a little bit more stretch. Okay, now the critical things through this movement is keeping your elbows fixed in position. So from that position there, my elbows sticking upwards, and also I'm keeping them kind of pinned together, so I'm not letting them come out. I don't know if you can see that there with this angle, but you want them in, not flailing out. And if you're too heavy, as you lift up, they'll tend to just open out like that, and you're missing a lot of the hit on the triceps, and it becomes quite an insignificant exercise then. And it usually happens when you're putting too much weight on and you just can't handle it. And it looks good because you've got a lot of weight on, but you aren't really doing anything. Just throwing that out there. So we need this to come back, bend, top of the head, so I'm doing the top head technique. Keep the elbows in and lift it up, and then as we extend, just let the forearm do the extension and really lock this out. When you get at the top, squeeze them arms tight out at the top so you can feel the tricep. You should feel, if you get a really good squeeze, about one arm, you should feel that really right up as high as it will go into the tricep, but that's only if you get a good squeeze. You don't want to be stuck in a position where you just got a half bend up at the top. Work it, get that lock out up at the top, and you'll really feel that engage the triceps tremendously. So this is another thing I want to say about your position. So I've said about the elbows coming outwards, we don't want that, is the elbows coming down like this. Again, we're taking weight out of the triceps, so this is a bad technique. Don't do that one, okay? Keep the elbows fixed. And it's exactly the same if we just go in that a little bit deeper. So I've dropped back with the arms, as you can see there. This is going to give me a little bit more stretch through the triceps, and I need to keep them pinned in and fixed in position there as I lift up. And you don't need that much weight then, especially if you're putting that extension in, really locking out up at the top. You don't need tremendous amounts of weight, you just need to focus on the technique that you're producing, okay? And that is our French press and or skull crushing.